Hello and welcome to the Brussels Update. One story has dominated the news around here this week, and that was the Brazilian meat scandal. It has been added on to the agendas of a multitude of meetings as DG Sante have struggled to catch up with developments. At a briefing to the Agriculture Committee in Parliament on Tuesday, it was revealing how little they knew and how they found out about the developments through the media. They are anxious, however, not to be seen as making a knee-jerk reaction, so they have committed to intensifying checks on product already in transit from Brazil and have asked that the 4 companies on the approved list that are currently under investigation be suspended. Elsewhere, the Japanese Prime Minister visited Brussels on Tuesday and was received by the Council President Tusk and Commission President Juncker. Reports from officials suggest that the stalled free trade agreement discussions are up and running again, and a conclusion is expected before the end of the year, perhaps as early as the summer. Meanwhile, EU trade negotiators were in Buenos Aires for the latest round of Mercosur discussions, and as of now, there's no update on how they went. This is the trade deal that Irish farmers have to watch, as a beef quota is a likely demand from the Mercosur side. Finally, the Young Farmers Organisation, Macra na Firma, were in Brussels, handing over their policy paper on CAP 2020 to Commissioner Hogan, who then joined them in a meeting of CJ, the Young Farmers Body, and COPA, the umbrella organisation for European Union farming organisations. I'm now joined by Sean Finan, President of Macra na Firma, to talk a little more about their policy paper. Sean, you're very welcome to Brussels. Thank you for taking time to join the Irish Farmers Journal YouTube.
Thanks very much.
First of all, I'm curious to find out, how did you come about this policy paper? Did a few of you just sit down in the office and put it together?
No, far from it, Phelan. We engaged with approximately 1,000 young farmers as part of our consultation in developing our CAP post-2020 policy. That consultation involved 5 meetings across the country with young farmers across in 5 venues, and then we followed that up with a young farmer survey, and we're delighted to be associated with yourselves in the Irish Farmers Journal as part of the consultation. So really it was a very extensive consultation. We got the views of farmers right across the country and then followed up with their survey, as I said.
Okay. You finished up with a 32-page document. Is there anything in there in particular that you would highlight as being of particular significance to farming for the future, and what CAP 2020 can do for, I suppose, young farmers in particular?
Well, we have seen over the last number of weeks and months the EU Commission set out their priorities in terms of CAP post 2020. We're very conscious of the 3 priorities they have set out, but we have focused predominantly on one, which would be the intergenerational renewal piece and the generational renewal piece. We see our document as a roadmap for generational renewal, and that's a significant theme that runs right through our proposal and our document.
You had a meeting with the Commissioner Hogan yesterday evening. You presented him with the publication then over at the Commission. You've been to the Parliament here this morning, where you presented formally, I suppose launched it formally, you might say, in Brussels.
Yes.
And you're having a further launch in Dublin next Thursday. You're certainly giving this plenty of publicity and plenty of circulation.
We are indeed. We are the first organisation to, as far as we are aware, to do an extensive consultation with our members in Ireland in terms of developing our policy. And really, a lot of work has gone into this policy from a Macra na Firma staff point of view, but also from an Agricultural Affairs Committee point of view. And indeed, we reflect the views of the members or the young farmers that engage with the consultation. And it is part of the process that we would launch it here in Brussels, but also that we would ensure that some of our recommendations would make their way into the CJ proposal, which would be the European Council of Young Farmers document, which will be developed in the next few weeks or finalised in the next few weeks. So we're very conscious that we're under a very tight time frame to get this done, and that's why we have engaged so fast with our members.
Okay. One of the things that young farmers tell me when I be chatting to them at various events that we take part in and participate in, they have a great frustration at being able to get access to farming. That is very much land is held on to by older people, that it doesn't become available to young farmers at an economical point. And in fact, they're old farmers by the time they get the opportunity to inherit a family farm. Have you any radical proposals there? Like, for example, in Switzerland, once you reach retirement age, you transfer over to the state pension scheme, you come out of the farm support system. Have you thought of anything anything as radical as that?
Well, as part of the consultations, the whole generational renewal thing was very, very much to the fore in terms of young farmers' views. But at the same time, as young farmers, we have to be very conscious that older farmers have a very significant role to play in the industry. And at the same time, they also have requirements and needs, and they are the landowners. So young farmers need to be conscious of that. But at the same time, we have proposed in our document a succession proposal, which
Do young farmers not feel that old farmers get better treatment from the system, from the Common Agriculture Policy, than young farmers do?
Yes, young farmers do believe that is the case, particularly around issues around the 5-year rule and younger farmers having lost out on cap payments, and also the historical model isn't necessarily conducive to young farmers and their entry into the industry, and that does mean that payments are maybe tied up with less active farmers.
So have you any proposals to address the issue, or are you just accepting it?
No, we have proposed a significant strengthening of the active farmer definition. We're opposed to the current omnibus proposal, whereby member states would be given an option to implement the active farmer definition or not, and we have a succession proposal within our document, and that is a phased succession plan, where at the age of 63 a farmer would have to complete a succession plan which would set out their intentions in terms of have they a successor, or who their potential successor would be, and then that between the age of 65 and 70 there would be a transitional arrangement, and then beyond the age of 70 that farmers to receive a cap payment would have to get engaged or involved in a collaborative farming arrangement, and we're hoping by doing that they would aid the land mobility process and encourage more people
So it's a kind of a hybrid model then. It's not a sudden cut off, it's a phased cut off.
Yeah, it's not a
fall off the transition.
It's a phased transition. It's not a fall off the cliff measure, because there has been significant discussion at both an Irish and a European level, and we would have instigated that discussion around pensions and single farm payment and cap payments. But at the same time, we're very, very conscious that older farmers have a requirement and have an awful lot to offer the industry. They are the landowners, and we have to work closely together to ensure that succession happens and give older farmers the opportunity maybe to exit the industry if that's what they wish to do, but also to give the opportunity for younger farmers to enter the industry and to come in and get involved in the agricultural industry.
Sean Finan, President of Macron and Farmer, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Phelim.
Thank you.